Hello everyone, and welcome to Capitol Watch for Friday, February 15th, our weekly look at legislative developments at the state capitol. And joining us from Jefferson City at our governmental relations offices there is Mike Reed, our Associate Executive Director for Advocacy and our Chief Lobbyist. And Mike, this week we saw some action on both the House and Senate side on an issue that we care a lot about, and that is revisions to the Sunshine Law to keep some school safety records confidential. What happened on that?
Yes, we did. The bills got perfected and passed in both the House and the Senate. In the Senate, Senator Kehoe's bill was passed. That bill took on a few amendments, including a large amendment from Senator Schaefer that had a lot to do with other parts of the Sunshine Law, many of which we were not involved in, some of which we are. It was not as clean a bill as the House bill, but it got passed, and then we really appreciate Senator Kehoe's work on that. In the House, we really appreciate Representative Caleb Jones's work on getting the bill passed. It came through rather clean with an emergency clause, and it now goes to the Senate. But we just appreciate so much Representative Jones and Senator Kehoe and Speaker Jones and President Pro Tem Dempsey in getting this piece of legislation out. It's very, very important. As I said, it's now gone. Both of these bills have gone to the other House. We're going to push for hearings very quickly, and we would like to see this bill passed before spring break.
Mm-hmm. And Mike, since we have two different versions of the bill, this is not a situation where it goes to conference committee. Each House will consider the other one's bill. Is that correct?
That is correct. Each House will consider the other one's bill. Then we'll see what happens after that. So no, this does not go to conference yet.
Mike, another piece of legislation we're watching closely would assign letter grades to school buildings. Where do we stand on that?
Yes, that bill came out of committee, and I anticipate that it will be discussed in the House next week. And it assigns letter grades to the various school buildings off of some reports that are filed with the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. We are all in favor of making sure that those reports are out there for everyone to see. But assigning just a letter grade to a whole group of situations we don't believe is in the best interest of school children. What does this say? This says that this, at one point in time, X may have happened. We believe that it is much better to show the entire report card, which how are they doing on various situations in the school building, and those are shown in a percentage. And so the parents can look at that whole situation. It's going to be an interesting discussion next week to see where we come out with that situation.
And Mike, should our members be contacting their House members to oppose the letter grade idea?
Yes, what we're asking to do is oppose the letter grade idea. We are going to have an amendment on the floor to take out that part of the bill, just the letter grade part. The rest of it is there so people can see and have transparency. But we are against putting a letter grade on a building.
Another bill that had a hearing this week, Mike, has to do with math and science courses and some additional requirements for, it appears to be seniors in high school that would have to take perhaps some additional math and science courses.
And the way this bill is written, it says that as a senior in high school, you have to take your math and science courses in your last year. And discussing this with the sponsor stated that he believes that too many seniors are kind of goofing off and not prepared for college. And so what he is wanting them to do is to take these math and science courses in their last year, and so they'll be much better prepared for college. He has discussed this with a number of colleges, and he believes that some students are coming into college and need remedial classes. So that is why he's doing this. He hasn't increased the number of math and science requirements. He is just moving them to the end. And so right before they graduate, students must take math and science courses.
Another bill, Mike, that had a hearing this week has to do with high school diplomas and a requirement that students would have to score at proficient or above on state assessments in order to get, I guess, what's called a state-approved high school diploma. Is that right?
That's right. In the end, there would be two different diplomas. If you did not score proficient on certain tests, then you would not be able to get an approved diploma. You would get, in essence, an attendance diploma. There's some real questions about various parts of this piece of legislation. There are some questions on students with IEPs and various other situations. This bill has got a lot of work to do. Again, what the sponsor was trying to do is to hold students accountable for certain situations and to hold students accountable for their work. However, there may be better ways to do it than this piece of legislation.
Mike, work continues on the state budget. We have the governor's budget proposal out there now. He announced that in conjunction with his State of the State address, and now on the House side, the leaders have released an initial version, at least, of the state budget plan from their perspective. So where does all that stand right now?
Yes, and this is down the line, we're working on where is it going. The House has come up with its version of the budget and has reduced the amount of money that the governor has had recommended. So this is the second step in a long process of negotiations and working through. But at least now we know where the House is coming from, and we can start working on ideas on where we think it will probably be in the end. And again, as most budgets happen and most things happen in this building and this town, there will be some compromises. So do I expect to get everything that the governor offered? No. Do I think we'll get more than what the House has stated? Yes. So we'll just keep working on it and try to get as much for public education as we can.
Mike, we have an important event coming up on Tuesday, February 19th, our Legislative Forum in Jefferson City. Tell us
Legislative
about that.
Forum will be here next week. We will hope everyone comes. It's extremely important for our members to come to Jefferson City and talk to the various elected officials on how these pieces of legislation affect them. And it's going to be next week. We're going to have people talking about the budget process. We're going to have people talking about PSRS and the health of PSRS, as well as the Commissioner of Education will be speaking to us, various elected officials. It'll be a good time, but it's extremely important that people come. Then they can come and discuss the ABC bill and how does that affect their district? What does it mean to them when people are putting this kind of legislation out there?
And there's still time to register for a legislative forum. Just go to the MSBA website, and we look forward to seeing you in Jefferson City next Tuesday. Mike Reed, as always, thanks a lot for being with us and updating us on the happenings in Jefferson City. And again, we will keep you up to date through this program, our weekly Legislative Voice electronic newsletter that we issue on Fridays, and our daily blog on the MSBA website. Thanks for being with us on our program, and we hope you join us again next week for another edition of MSBA's Capitol Watch.